Howdy gamers, Old Gamer Guy here. Welcome to another Stellaris Console Edition video. It is the year 2256 and the PlayStation Network continues to prepare for the next war with the hierarchy of Bok. If you have watched my videos in the past, you know that I am guilty of not preparing well enough for war in this game. So I'm trying to do that here in the Sassen system. We have two fleets. We're upgrading and reinforcing them when we can, along with the spaceport itself. A galactic market has been created, and I'm guessing this is a lot like the market we already had access to, except now we have access to more resources to buy and sell. So that should be overall good for the economy.
Construction complete.
Our construction ships continue to do what construction ships tend to do, which is filling in the blank spaces with outposts and mining stations and research stations. So we're filling in some space over here near Earth. At this point, I have 20 corvettes in both of my fleets, and I decided to add one destroyer to both fleets just because I can. Why not? Our enemy up to this point has been the hierarchy of Bok, but we have a truce with them until January of 2259. The Kelzen are generally more peaceful, but we also have a truce with them until July of 2262. But over here in the diplomacy options, we now have the option to propose a defensive pact. And if they accept that, that will get us out of our guarantee of independence, I think. And then we can also form a research agreement. So I'm going to go ahead and propose both of those things with the Kelzen. I'm glad we're becoming friendly with them. And it looks like they are agreeable to those ideas.
Situation log adjusted.
But never mind that for now. Diagnostic Array Theta has registered a possible irregularity on Barnard Star 4. No PSNian units are known to be operating in the vicinity of this uninhabited astronomical body, but a preliminary analysis indicates that it may have been visited by a precursor civilization at some point in the distant past. We should investigate this, and that gives us a special project there at Barnard's Star. But that's just a side story in my opinion. The Kelzen have agreed to a research agreement, and they have also agreed to a defensive pact. And so now I believe this releases us from our promise to guarantee their independence. I think. In other science news, the planet Abdrade 3A is a toxic, corrosive wasteland, but our scans unveil that it has not always been so. A now extinct organic civilization seems to have destroyed its home planet via a heavy reliance on climate-altering fuels and toxins. That sounds very familiar, I think. On a remote hill close to a major city, we have found a lone active facility, a robot assembly plant, desolated and surrounded by military vehicles so deteriorated that they break upon touch. The facility is alien and mysterious, but could provide us with ample study material. You know, organics are often so short-sighted. But this gives us access to the Improved Energy Initiative Empire Edict. It adds a Fallen Robotic Society modifier to Abdrade 3A, along with some extra engineering research points. So this is a significant find. At this point, we are less than a year from the end of our truce with the Bok, and I've been watching some of their ships moving around near our borders, so it's kind of concerned me, but their fleet power is pathetic compared to ours. So let's move on to this. We have had an encounter with some strange aliens and we need to take care of a special project to investigate these aliens and establish communications. So we will go into our situation log and do that. And the encounter happened up here. Our science ship encountered some strange aliens, and it looks like this is going to be another empire. I can see some mining stations and a spaceport here. So, yeah, hopefully this is an empire that will be relatively friendly.
A foreign entity has decrypted our communications.
And as it turns out, they might be friendly. It is the cloud. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know that the cloud is, they are xenophiles. They are very smelly, so they're repugnant, but they might end up being friendly to us. Their response to us, at least initially, seems pretty friendly. And they are up here. So looking at the hyperlanes in between us, there's an obvious defensive choke point right there. And then the only other one is way up next to their border. I don't know if I'm going to want to send my construction ship all the way up here just to do this, and it might cost us a bunch of influence because it's so far away, but we might want an outpost right there. Meanwhile, the science ship that made that contact, I could keep sending them on to explore that space. But if you remember, early on we found a bunch of anomalies that were kind of classified as being tougher to research because our scientists were low level. I think I'm going to have that science ship turn around and start investigating some of those anomalies because they're all going to be relatively easy at this point. Meanwhile, our truce with the Bok has just officially ended, so I suppose they could attack us at any time, but like I said, their fleet power is pathetic. We are going to propose a non-aggression pact with the cloud. And we just encountered some more strange aliens in that same system. But meanwhile, the cloud has accepted our offer of a non-aggression pact. So that's good. One of our science ships found an asteroid that had something odd about it, so they studied it, and they say the asteroid appears to have been used intermittently as a base by a band of alien pirates roughly 1,000 years ago. A small boarding party entered the base and managed to recover their abandoned treasure hoard. It consisted largely of stolen trinkets and artifacts, but some of it still appears to be of value. These ill-gotten gains shall serve the state, and we gained 500 energy credits there, and so that is a decent find. And shortly after that, we had another find on another asteroid. At least I think it's a different asteroid. But they say that the survey of the asteroid is temporarily halted as a probe is caught by an errant gravitational anomaly. The probe manages to transmit some data before it is brutally crushed by the extreme forces that completely dissipate soon after. At least no one got hurt, but we gained some physics research points, and HelperBot Q7 gained some experience. So it was a close call, I guess, but still a decent find.
A foreign entity has decrypted our communications.
And we are now in contact with the Sacred Cyrillan Confederacy. Just like the cloud, they are classified as spiritual seekers. And so hopefully that means they will be fairly friendly to us. They seem fairly friendly here at our initial meeting. But looking at our contact list, we cannot form a defensive pact, we can't form a non-aggression pact or a research agreement. So they're not as friendly to us as the cloud. We could guarantee independence, but I think not. I would much rather have a defensive pact than a guarantee of independence, which is kind of a one-way offer. But they are in contact with some unidentified empires, both in a friendly way and an unfriendly way. And they are located up here, right next to the cloud, which is kind of interesting. Two spiritual seekers right together. But never mind that. For now, we have received an incoming transmission from the Artisan Troop, and they say the Enclave is in a frisky mood. The creation of the Scentless Rift has caused many an artist to change their primary focus to creating new experiences for it. So far, the most noteworthy to come out of this endeavor is an orchestral piece conveyed via scent. And they want a donation. We're going to go ahead and donate to that endeavor. But I really would like to have more friendly relations with both the cloud and the Cyrilan. Of the two, the Sacred Cyrilan are the least friendly, so I think I'm going to concentrate on them for the moment. We actually have a defensive pact with the cloud, so I think I'll offer the Cyrilan a trade deal. I would love to have their communications data from their known empires, and I will trade them the same. But we need to sweeten the deal a little bit, so I'm going to add some energy credits to this deal, and we'll just add enough energy credits to make the deal a positive experience for them. We'll go ahead and set it at about 500 energy credits. No big deal for us, but they seem to like that. And we'll confirm that and see what they say.
System survey complete.
And boy, did we get a bunch of information out of this deal. Unfortunately, the first empire that we contacted out of that is the Derp Coalition. They are almost definitely going to be antagonistic, like the Bok Bok. And yeah, from our initial contact, it looks like they are not going to like us, but that is not surprising. That's just the way the Derp Coalition are. They are another empire that I designed. They have nothing but negative traits, but they still seem to do okay despite that. But we have also come into contact with the Serene Cannabinoid Alliance. And as you might expect, they are very friendly, very laid back, very chill, and we can potentially be friends with them. But from a positive back to another negative, we have now contacted the Skrek entity. They are a devouring swarm. The good news is every empire is probably going to be against them. So they will probably distract everybody away from attacking us. So I like that. But meanwhile, our scientists labor on, and the PSN Scientific Module 2 reports that among the asteroids surrounding AA23138, we have discovered an alien ship adrift. It is not responding to our attempts to hail them. If this is due to it being unable to interpret our signal or some other reason, we do not know. Science Officer Coadjutron 11 recommends that we get a construction ship to tow it out of the debris field. If left untouched, it risks being crushed by the asteroids. So we now have a special project to investigate. We really have two choices here. We can do the special project, or we can scrap the ship for materials and get 500 minerals, but I'm going to go ahead and do the special project.
Situation log adjusted.
It's a timed project, so we will have to get one of our construction ships on that as soon as possible. But for now, let's take a look at our newly discovered empires. We have the serene cannabinoids down here next to the Kelzen. The Skrek entity is next to them. I believe these guys are a fallen empire, and then we have the Derp coalition up here next to the Cyrilan. So let's take a look at our contact list and see how we stand against these empires. Let's go up and check out the fallen empire first. The Bavi Guardians. They are holy guardians. I think that means basically that they don't like it when empires try to settle on a Gaia planet, but I don't think we have discovered a Gaia planet just yet. At least not that I remember. But they have closed their borders to pretty much everyone. I'm not really worried about this for now. Next, we will check out the Derp Coalition. They are an empire I created. They have all of their traits are negative, but somehow they do okay for themselves despite that. Then we have the Skrek entity, which are a devouring swarm, and I think everybody's going to hate them. And then we have the serene cannabinoids, who, as you might expect, are a very peaceful, laid back, and chilled empire. So we could potentially be friends with them. But I think right here is a good spot to go ahead and end this video. This has been about an hour and a half of footage, of gameplay footage. So I think going forward from here, I'm going to try to play for 2 hours and then edit that down, and we'll see how that goes. But we've made some big discoveries in this episode, and we'll leave off here. So for now, as always, thanks very much for watching.